Hi, my name's Ray White, and my connection to Kettering is that after I went travelling, I came and settled in the Kettering area. I bought a boat and have been living on the River Nene, and also when I moved there I met Kezabel Ambler and started to do her weaving words workshops, which were in Kettering. So my story is about my journey around Scotland and something that happened while I was on the Isle of Raasay. I wanted to get involved in the project because I've written a lot of poems and I've not really written that many stories, not for a very, very long time, and I also wanted to be a part of a community project and have the experience of going through that process of forming a story and writing a story with other people, and to be supported in that and be open to feedback and other people's ideas. That wasn't so much a problem for me because I am a spoken word poet, and it has taken a while, but I have got used to standing in front of the mic, and I'm actually quite a shy person, but bizarrely when I'm behind the mic it seems somehow easier to interact with people and the audience. So it's always nice when you get a giggle, or you just sense or see that someone is relating to what you're sharing about. So I would like people to remember that sometimes when shit happens in your life, when you look back on it, it actually makes the best stories. We never appreciate this at the time when we're going through it, but maybe just remember when there's shit happening, at some point you're gonna share it with someone, and they're either gonna giggle or they're gonna go, wow, you got through that, that's amazing.
The title is now Beware of the Pigs, because I wanted it to be a surprise. I didn't want to give away the magic. And I'll give a little backstory to the story. In 2017 I went travelling in a camper van with my now ex-boyfriend, and we were both monks at the time, and we had been given Sanskrit names, and his name meant, it translated to "he who is difficult to live with." So I'll just throw that out there to begin with. So this was about, I think we'd been travelling about a month together at this point, and I've launched myself on this adventure, and I have a history of anxiety, panic attacks, sensory processing issues, and all that kind of thing. And that's why I started to do yoga, that's why I started to do meditation, and it really helped me a lot. And I'd set up my life in such a way that all the things that kind of challenged me, I didn't have to face. So I thought I'd kind of healed them. And then, through this adventure, realised that I probably hadn't, had to deal with all that stuff again. So anyway, the story's called Beware of the Pigs. We arrived on the Isle of Raasay immediately in awe of its rugged beauty, and managed to pitch up just in time to catch the sunset. The drive to our camping spot was full of hills, big ones, little ones, with twists and turns. We laughed at the interesting red triangular sign with a piggy It had a very curly tail, levitating above some hills. And Devasa, my ex-partner, was very excited to arrive there to walk Callum's Road. So he'd read a book of the same name and been deeply inspired by Callum's tenacity. Unfortunately, it didn't really rub off on him. After years of lobbying for a road to be built to the isolated village of Arnish, 56-year-old Callum MacLeod picked up an engineering manual, a shovel, a pick, and a wheelbarrow, and almost single-handedly constructed a road. And yeah, this stunning stretch, I'm losing it, on this stunning stretch of island, and the infrastructure now bears his name. Callum was in his late 60s by the time he finished the road, and he and his wife were the last inhabitants of Arnish. In 1982, the council surfaced a hand-built thoroughfare and a memorial cairn stands to honour Callum's determination at a picnic site above the road itself, which now 3 decades after his death is again falling into disrepair. So Callum's Road is a single track, some places flanked with weather-carved rocks sprinkled with colourful heathers, and other places unobstructed views to the ocean. We saw a couple of seals bobbing up and down, trying to catch themselves some dinner, the sky moody, the atmosphere still as the last golden rays of sun lit up the horizon. We woke the next morning to glorious sunshine. I got my yoga mat out, sat in meditation, had a stretch. A postman appeared out of nowhere. "Beware of the pigs," he said. I'm not going to do a Scottish accent. Ah, the sign, I thought. They're quite tame, just treat them like dogs. If they try to nick your breakfast, just shoo them away and give them a kick if necessary. We thanked him for the heads up, and my belly was aching, and I knew it was time. We thanked him, oh no, there we go. I was very anxious about what was to come. My first wild poo. "It's time," I said to Devasa. And he presented me with his tiny weeny shovel. "What the am I supposed to do with that?" I said, more referring to its pathetic size. "Dig a hole, do your poo, cover it over. Simple." "Well, where do I do it?" "Go up the track. There'll be a spot up there. You'll be fine." Anxiously, I disappear with my tiny mini shovel up the track. I find a spot between the heathers and try to dig a hole. The earth is like concrete. The tiny shovel broke. So I did my best to dig a hole and did the business. Not my best poo, I have to say. I'm a vegetarian. I was rather anxious. You know the ones that come out like Mr. Whippy. I did my best to cover it with soil and twigs and moss, and I came down really proud that I'd done my first wild poo. Back down the hill, Devasa had made us breakfast, and as if on cue, along come the pigs. We shoo them off as instructed, and off they trot, up the little track, out of sight. She knows what's coming. We enjoy our breakfast, start to get ready to go exploring the island. The pigs trot back down the hill, looking very excited. "What's that smell?" says Devasa. "Oh shit!" Literally, I recognise that smell. One of the piggies has obviously found and had a good roll around in, yes, my shit. It was like the piggy knew it was mine. She was very determined to show me her new fragranced body mask. "Go away, piggy!" I shrieked. I think I actually said other words than that. And also in fits of laughter. We walked briskly, but they both followed in hot pursuit. My shit literally followed me halfway around the island until we were saved by a pissing gate. But far from being a crappy day, sorry, I couldn't help it, we enjoyed exploring Rassay. I wonder if Callum was looking down on us having a good laugh. I sure do hope so.
I think true stories are important because we are all mirrors for each other, and in our storytelling, usually there's someone in the audience or whoever's reading our books or our poetry or whatever that can relate to our experience. And I think true stories and authentic stories one, help us, whoever's witnessing or listening, it helps us to be more authentic. Kind of gives people permission to share. Also, we can relate and feel less alone. Quite often especially if we're suffering with something, we can feel like we're the only person in the world that's experiencing that. And I think through the authentic storytelling, we come to realise that we are not alone. We are all going through this wonderfully messy, beautiful, chaotic experience of life together.